What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the After Effect Podcast. I'm your host, LeBron Stephen, but you can call me LBZ, LB, Bronny, L Boogie, whatever you choose. Welcome to episode 51. We have a very, very, very special guest. Tony Grimes is on the show today. Davie, Florida native, played his college football at Ole Miss and the University of Hawaii. Played, I believe, 5 or 6 years of arena football. Now is a serial entrepreneur living in Hawaii. Super uber excited to get him on. We were actually teammates during the year 2016. We both played arena football for the Iowa Barnstormers. One of the best players I've ever played with. Really aggressive and great energy. Really loves the game. So super excited to hear his story and hear his after effect. And just send him the link, and once he jumps on, we will go. Man.
A guy who came from Cleveland.
Okay, well, you ain't from Cleveland, though.
Cleveland was the best location in the nation.
You know, we from Cleveland, Ohio.
Glenville community on the east side of Cleveland.
Cleveland was called the best location in the nation.
I can hear you now. What's good with you, bro?
Yo.
What's up with you, man? Hey, I appreciate you carving out the time, bro.
Yes, sir. My dog. What's up, man?
Hey, I can't call it. Hey, it's good to see you, man.
Same here, bro.
Yeah. Same here, man. Bro, like I was telling you, this is called the After Effects Show. It's a free and safe space for us former athletes and current athletes to, talk about our upbringing, talk about our playing careers, but more importantly, talk about that transition out, man. I always felt like that transition out of sports is minimized. We got a 10 to 20 plus year relationship with whatever sport we play. And somebody is telling us that, you know what I mean? It's over and we just supposed to figure life out, man. So this is a free and safe space, man. You can drink, smoke, curse, do whatever, man. Free and safe space for us is just to talk about our careers, man, the ups, the downs, the wins, the losses, the mistakes, the politics, all those things, man. So I appreciate you joining.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. I'm glad to be here, bro.
Yes, sir. So before we dive into your childhood and all that, man, let me just get your take on the current state of the world, bro. Obviously, we're at a calendar year in the coronavirus pandemic. Racial injustices are finally starting to come on the forefront. People are really starting to understand what it's like to be us, to be Black. So how have you grown spiritually, emotionally, physically, just all of those things culminated in one over the past year as we continue to navigate through this whole thing and figure it out?
I tell you one thing, man, mentally, the time definitely has made me grow mentally, bro. It's a lot to sit down and think about it and put stuff in different perspectives and whatnot. Yeah. And there's a lot of variables around everything that's going around. So I've definitely been doing more thinking about a lot of stuff, putting myself in different people's shoes. So I've been going over this time, bro.
Yeah. Same here, man. I've always been a thinker. So that was the main thing for me too. That's honestly why I started this podcast. And I was telling one of my other dudes I had on another episode, this is actually the first time I ever even hung up my jersey. like my jersey was dug deep in my closet. I felt like I underachieved. So I never really wanted to talk about my career. I never wanted to talk about anything football, to be honest. And the pandemic helped me, dive back deep into what we did do, like the accomplishments I did accomplish and all those things. And that's actually the reason why I started the podcast, man, because I feel like it's power in our stories. And a lot of our stories aren't ever told. Only people's stories who told are the guys who actually make it, and you know what I mean? And actually make it and touch the money. And then, they have those resources and those platforms. So that's actually why I created this. Yes, sir.
That one on the head.
Yeah, for sure. Man, they say like that the craziest people in the United States come from Florida, bro. So paint me a picture, man. I know you from Davie, Florida, man. Paint me a picture on what it was like growing up there in the 90s. Obviously, every time I say this, make me feel old, but we didn't grow up like the kids now. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have the internet. We used to have to literally be outside all day, play with each other, interact with each other. So paint me a picture on the culture in Florida, man. I'm intrigued. Like, I feel like, obviously we all know people here that a lot of crazy people come from Florida, but I feel like a lot of creative people and a lot of super ultra athletic people come from Florida too. So paint me a picture on what it was like growing up there in the 90s.
Hey, I call it the jungle, man. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
jungle. I know every place got a little rough on the end, rough on the edge. Every place got their places where it's tough at.
You know that.
Feel like all around, you gotta be a soldier to make it out of there, man. You gotta be good at a lot of things to have a good a safe upbringing, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. Definitely the most competition I ever been around. You know, I done been in a lot of places. It ain't nothing like that South Florida competition to me.
Right. And I was about to ask a question. How would you compare, like I know you just said like that's Florida competition, but I know you played at Ole Miss, you played at Hawaii, you played arena ball, you had a lot of CFL and NFL trials. How would you compare just all the competition in Florida as compared to the competition that you went against in the SEC and at Hawaii and professionally? Like it's no comparison.
Florida is SEC. Just put it like that. Like when you playing in Florida, like you always playing against. When I was in high school, I ain't even know half of the receivers' names that I was playing against, but boy, them boys was running fast as hell.
Yeah.
They had something about them that was gonna make me stay on it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and then like that trash talk down there mentally, them boys will break you. Them boys will break you.
Right. You get
me through my whole career. Like coaches used to have to tell me to shut up and practice too much. I can't help it. That's how I
right. That's the environment you grew up in, bro. It's so funny you say that because I remember when we played with each other in 2016. That's the first thing that stood out to me, bro. Like in practice and everything, like you always talking, your energy was always good. But I admired that because I could tell that you really love the game, like you really was interested in the game. And I feel like in 2016, because I was always a guy, I just let my play through the talk, and I'm gonna talk trash to the offensive lineman, but I ain't really like a loud like rah guy or whatever. But I just remember like kind of gaining confidence to kind of be more so of that guy that's kind of loud and talking trash because from you, like because you know what I'm saying. Then like when I started making plays and we started celebrating all that kind of stuff, like I just feel like that energy, it was contagious. It was contagious, like you know what I'm saying. That loud, that dog mentality, like it was contagious, man. So it was cool to play with you like that.
I couldn't tell you wasn't used to being that way. So that bit must have been contagious.
Yeah. It definitely was. So yeah, bro. Talk about like when you started coming to your own, like once you got to high school. I saw you went to Hollywood Hills High School, and you ultimately ended up being ranked the number 16 best DB in the country by ESPN. That's like the top. That's like the best recruiting, you know what I mean, website to go by. So talk about when you started coming to your own. I think all top athletes all around the world, when that light switch hit on. For me, it was like 10th grade. I hit that growth spurt. I went crazy my sophomore year on varsity. I started getting all the letters. The offers started kind of chiming in your sophomore and junior year. So when did that light switch hit on for you when everything started to kind of make sense? And obviously we started playing ball to eventually make it to the league. But talk about when your dream started to become a reality. Like, man, damn, I could probably go to college and like for free and really do this.
It was the year after my 10th grade season, man. I played with a lot of good guys in 2000. I graduated 2010, so 2008 was my sophomore season. I had a lot of people putting stuff in my head mentally. So you know what I'm saying, that sometimes gas to the person up. That gas go a long way.
Yeah.
So I carried that. And I remember I wasn't getting recruited at all, but I remember going to a combine, Friday Night Lights at Florida, University of Florida with Urban Myers. I remember Dre Kirkpatrick being there. They was all over. He was one of the top corners coming out in that year before.
Yeah, I think Joe Hayden was there too at the time.
Might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of good players out there. And this is right after my sophomore year. So I went out there. I remember I had my mama. That was probably the first road trip I ever took that far away from home. My mama, me and my sisters up. We went up there. I'm glad she did it too, cause boy did I shine. Boy, I had got down.
Crazy.
I ran a 4.5 flat. No training, nothing. Just went down that line, ran that. Then I killed it one-on-ones. I ain't played off one time. I was just jamming everybody up. So after that, I ain't never get interviewed to that day. People started interviewing me, then articles started coming out. Then I just started growing up after that.
Yeah. And that's the cool part about talking to guys like us, because I think that we be like, we grown now, and it's hard as athletes, we competitors. We always thinking about the next thing, the next goal. So we usually don't harp on our experiences or harp on things that we did accomplish, but pretty much all of us was like local stars from wherever we grew up at, like with Florida, Ohio, whatever. We was all local stars, ranked really high, all these kinds of things. So during the recruiting process, like what went into your decision to choose Ole Miss? I read that obviously you had a bunch of offers, and I think you narrowed it down to Ole Miss, Michigan, and Maryland. So what went into your decision? Did you being from Florida, did you know you wanted to stay in the SEC and try to play as a freshman, or like what went into your decision for that?
Went into my decision. Some of those things, some of those reasons, I would just keep off air to keep them boys straight over there. But
okay.
definitely a lot went into it, man. And then the dude who was recruiting me, the DB coach, he kind of went real hard, man. He can't afford my games that season, my senior season. Nobody ain't come more than once to see me. Bro, came to 4 games. He was telling me after the game, like, I could come with Ole Miss and start right now. You know what I'm saying? So I had gained a real good relationship with him. My mama started liking him. I played it cool, so I could experience the whole recruiting thing. I took all my visits and stuff, saw everything for what it was, and ultimately I chose Ole Miss for a lot of reasons. Definitely thought it was a good reason decision until it wasn't a good decision.
Right. I already know. So, man, because I read that you played in all 10 games. You started one game versus Kentucky. Paint me a picture to like, how was it playing in the SEC? I mean, I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm from the Midwest, from Ohio. So I live in Atlanta now. So like being in SEC country, it's always the argument. It's always the argument, SEC versus Big Ten. Big Ten, we hard, we run through the tackles, you know what I'm saying? We in the trenches, we play physical football. SEC is more of a speed game, but guys feel like they're more athletic as well. So what was it like playing in SEC as a young guy, as an 18-year-old, but actually getting snaps, like getting significant snaps, actually out there getting reps? Like, what was that experience like? And then who was the best competition that you went against your freshman year? I'm sure it was probably LSU or Alabama. Just walk me through that freshman year a little bit.
Right. So, I always wanted to play in the SEC. So that's another big reason why I had chose to go to the SEC. I just felt like I wanted to play with the best people. That was my mindset was go to the NFL. I play with the best people. I get looked at the most time.
Of course.
So, and coming into Ole Miss, I thought everybody was gonna be much better than much better than me. Like, damn, I'm going to the SEC. Ole Miss, they about to be fast, they about to be this, they about to be that.
Right, they about to be fine.
Crazy. I didn't even show up to Ole Miss until a week before the first game. I was a late qualifier.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a late qualifier for a couple of reasons. So I got to Ole Miss on a Saturday. The game was on a Saturday, the next Saturday.
7 days later. Yeah.
I played in that game. So I practiced for 1 week. Got out there and played. All I knew how to do is play man. But anyways, I'm thinking everybody gonna be way rawer than me. Only difference I saw right away was they just much stronger and they a little bit more knowledgeable than me. But athletically,
right.
I thought I fit right in.
Yeah.
Early. But and in that SEC, man, them boys fast every week, day in, day out. They run real fast, and that matters. That matters when you got to start off backwards and guard these guys, and then
of course.
It was a bunch of competition, and I started and like you said, that game that I started, man, I don't know why, but Randall Cobb lined it up wide to start that game.
Oh, that's when he played for Kentucky. Oh, okay.
he was watching him in the slot. So, I had my chest was beating fast when I seen him out there lining up in front of me. But that's
Yeah.
one of the best receivers I guarded that year.
Okay. See, he was a problem for Kentucky. I remember that. So out of all the SEC guys that you went against that year, who would you say was the best? Was Randall Cobb the best, or was somebody else from another school a little better?
Julio and Marquise Mays was finishing up my freshman year. So I got a little taste of that. And not too much at all, because I barely played that game, but I got thrown in that fire a little bit. But I'll tell you one thing, Marquise Mays is running at a different speed.
Okay.
Speed, man. That boy's really running at a different speed.
Yeah. I heard them Alabama receivers and just Alabama in general. I heard they play at a different speed, so that's cool to get that inside look. Did when y'all played them? I know you said you was thrown in the fire. I'm not sure how many snaps you got, but did obviously we've been playing football since we was young, since 8 or 9. But did it feel different? Did the speed of the game feel a little different playing Alabama, or it still felt like ball?
Tell you the truth, man, at that level, when you feeling the confidence that you feeling and you out there, it feel like you just out there playing park ball. You put yourself in that park ball mindset. That's what I always try to do. Imagine myself playing park ball and allow myself to play as well as I know I can. Not let the moment be too big for me. So I definitely try to do that, especially and I think after high school, like not having that many fans and going into a situation where the fans grew, I actually like that more than most people.
Right. No doubt, bro. I feel you on that. So, man, talk about when you had to go the JUCO route and you had to go to Arizona Western after your freshman year at Ole Miss. I love these kind of stories because I feel like a lot of people don't pay attention to that transition. Like, so paint me a picture, bro. Like, was your ego shot at all going from this big time Ole Miss in the SEC campus to a smaller JUCO, what was it called, Arizona Western? I read that obviously Arizona Western was one of the top JUCOs, but it's still a different way of living. You know what I'm saying? SEC, Big Ten, we go to training table, we getting big steaks and shrimp and eating good and unlimited Gatorades and waters and all that kind of stuff. Then you go to a JUCO.
Transitions.
You said what?
That was one of the craziest transitions I had ever experienced.
Yeah. Like, so paint me a picture. Like how was it at Arizona Western, and was your ego shot at all? Like, damn, like I messed up my opportunity, or you just kept staying optimistic? Like, now I'm a ball here, and then I got 2 years eligibility left to go ball somewhere else. Did you just stay optimistic? Was you down at all?
Initially, I was actually too big-headed. I should have fully gathered in what really had happened to me when I had got dismissed from Ole Miss. A lot of people don't know this. I actually went to Hutchinson, Kansas.
Okay.
So I went to Hutchinson, Kansas. And to me, I just felt like they couldn't teach me nothing that I ain't already know. Like, I don't know why. I don't, that's me being the 18-year-old immature person that I was. I just came from Ole Miss. Like to me, being kicked out of Ole Miss at the time was I ain't even grasp it fully. I was thinking like, man, I'll be all right. I'll be right back in D1. You know what I'm saying? Before I know it,
right.
I felt like those people couldn't really tell me nothing. When in fact that wasn't the case at all. I definitely could have learned from those people out there. They had a good DB coach. I blew that opportunity. I clashed too much with the coaches and whatnot, and that wasn't the right fit for me. So that's when I ended up going to Arizona Western.
Okay.
Like I said about that transition, coming from a school where you eating 5-6 times a day. And
yeah.
Everything free and
that lifestyle is amazing.
and I'm getting financial aid and I'm getting all of this. It's
Pell grants and all that, scholarship checks.
Right. So I go to JUCO. It's not
totally different.
Ain't no such thing as full scholarship. Your Pell Grant going towards your school or your dorm stay, or it ain't no extra after that. So the JUCO route, I respect everybody who take that JUCO route. I'm glad I experienced that for myself. Like, that's one of the toughest things ever to do. Like, it's really tough in JUCO. Like you
Yeah,
really.
I heard it's real.
So those guys, they really bond together, man, because they living in that struggle together, and that's how a lot of hey, I'm telling you, JUCO is like the hood.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Make it out of you got to be a soldier to make it out of JUCO.
Right. Definitely, bro. So after you balled at Arizona Western, what went into your decision to choose Hawaii? I mean, I've always been intrigued by Hawaii because I've always felt like maybe it was kind of like a different experience or a different culture because you got different teammates from all these different walks of life, and you're in Hawaii. Like that's like people go there to vacation, but you're going there for college. So what went into your decision to choose Hawaii, and then what was that experience like? Because the first thing I thought about was like, man, how would you be able to stay focused, like going to college in a place where people go to vacation? like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like an exotic place. Like so, what went into your decision to choose there, and then how was that experience?
What's crazy is Hawaii chose me because
Yeah.
um very rarely do you see people get 2 second chances, and I was one of those people because I had ended up getting in trouble in JUCO after being dismissed from Ole Miss. So
Okay.
so I initially committed to go back to school back at home. I chose to be the big fish in the smaller pond. I was gonna go back to FAU.
Okay.
So
Florida Atlantic.
so I signed the
Okay.
FAU on signing day to go back home, and then
Okay.
ended up not getting in trouble while school was still going on, and they backed out on me. And then out of nowhere, I got a call from Hawaii, and then a week later, I was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Now,
And
what's
and
I would
and
never think that.
yeah. And so, like you said, they chose you, but then once you got there, what stood out to you? You know what I mean during your experience or during your 2 years, that you played there.
Man, how they treat the people on the island is way different than now what I call the mainland. What I used to say just states, but living out here so long, I just call this the rest of the states the mainland. It's very
Yeah.
peaceful out here, man. Everybody's so welcoming. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be walking down the sidewalk, random people just tell you good morning, good afternoon, just greet you.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of that where I'm from. Where I'm from,
Definitely.
people don't want to be known as looked as a friendly person because they think something
Exactly.
happened to
It's
them.
it's the trenches. Everybody mean. Don't nobody speak to you.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it ain't like that at all out here. They very welcoming, good
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
Nothing but good vibes out here, man.
Okay.
Hey, I know another thing. It's hard to get in trouble in Hawaii, so I was definitely chilling in college out here, man. But
Right. I got you.
playing
Uh,
experience way different.
yeah. Yeah. So you saying your experience, your playing experience at Hawaii was different than when you compared to Ole Miss?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. 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 I remember checking out a few Hawaii games, man. So talk about when I think your senior year was 2013. Talk about your transition into the NFL draft. Were you hearing from any teams? Did you participate in pro day? Because I always like hearing guys' stories when it comes to the draft and things like that because that was a really hard time for me. I came out in 2012, and I moved back home to Cleveland, and I had heard from a couple of teams after the draft, but I didn't get a PFA. I didn't get a priority free agent contract. So I was just in Cleveland trying to find a job to work, take care of myself, but also still working out 5, 6 times a week, staying in shape. And it took me about 6 months to get a tryout with the Packers. They flew me out and I tried out. And then I played in the IFL my first year, 2013. But so how did that experience go for you? Was you just ready to hang it up? Did you participate in a pro day? Were you hearing from any teams? Like just walk me through your process, before you decided to go play arena football from the draft to arena football. Because I feel like that period of time is always like eerie. It's always hard to explain. Because for me, it was like it was a dark place. I was about to get into a lot of things, just trying to get some money, just to survive. You know what I mean? So talk about that a little bit.
So I played my junior year, and I played 2 games my senior year. Did pro day. I ain't hear nothing. Nathaniel. That's probably the worst experience.
Damn.
That's probably one of the worst experiences like that you can ever feel. Like
Exactly.
Like, everything go to waste. Like I ain't, you don't hear nothing. You don't know what's the next move. What's the next this. Like
Right.
luckily, my coach Norm Child at the time, like because I didn't graduate at this time. Luckily, he had let me return and kept me on scholarship for a extra 2 semesters, and I retained my degree in that
Okay.
time. So I had actually after that process, I wasn't so in a rush to find a job or whatnot because I was still in school.
Yeah.
In a regular person in school, I had never done that my whole life. When I say regular, I don't mean like I'm better than anybody else. I just mean like
Right. Just a student, not a student athlete, just a student.
I didn't play no sports.
Right.
Now that was a crazy experience. Being
Right.
in
Because
school,
you had time on your hands.
like I just couldn't believe I was on scholarship. I mean, as much as it sucked, it was a fun time as well.
Yeah.
Because I never would imagine going to school or like having football cut. Like that was the first season I never played since I started playing football. So that was a hard time for sure. So
Okay.
I kept trying to pursue it. Of course, I ended up graduating from Hawaii and got into the whole IFL thing. Shout out to my man Scott Porter. He hit me up on
Yeah. Shout out to Scott. He the one that got me on too.
yeah. So he got me into the IFL. You know, I was only playing in the IFL to try to move up, man. You know,
Exactly. Me too.
that never was about the money for me in IFL. You know, it can't be about the money if you playing
Yeah. It
IFL.
can't be. Yeah. You getting pennies.
Right. It can't be about the money. So you know, I was playing that thing to go up.
Yeah.
So
Who was the first team you played for? Cedar Rapids?
no, I actually played for the Bemidji Axemen. They had
Okay.
got my
Oh,
first
that was in Minnesota, right?
yeah.
Okay.
First season was their last season. So
Yeah. And then okay, I remember that. And then the next season you played in Des Moines. That's when we met.
yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's funny you say that because that was the only reason I played arena too, man. I mean, obviously, you look at arena. Everyone looks at arena as like a developmental league. So you ball there, you get your film, and then you try to move up to the CFL, get an NFL opportunity. So 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 yeah, man. It was definitely you was definitely one of the best players I ever played with in the arena, man. So talk about, bro, because for me this day was like 2017. Talk about the day that you knew, because I remember 2016 was the last time I played. That was the last time I played. And I was good with it. I was 27 at the time. I balled out and I think I played 10 games with the Barnstormers, and I went back to Atlanta because I had to go back to work. Real life kicked in. But I was good with what I did. Like I played again, I balled out 2 players of the week in 10 weeks, like went crazy, had a bunch of fun with all my teammates, you included. And if nothing happened that season, I was cool with hanging it up. I heard from a couple of teams that season actually after I got my family, my agent, but accepting that I was done with football, that I would never strap it up again, I would never put that helmet on again. That shit was a lot for me, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. It took me months to. I kind of had to like re-identify myself. I didn't really know who I was outside of football. I love the game of football. You know how we used to be practice and we watch film for fucking hours, and then we may go take a shower or something. We watch the film again. Like we love football or play the game or something. So like we was immersed in football. So I had to re-identify what I like doing outside of football because I didn't really know who I was outside of the game. So if you can relive that moment, when did that time come for you when you said? Because I remember, I think you posted like, "Man, I'm done with the game," but it seemed like a seamless transition for you. Was it an easy transition when you told yourself you was done with the game? Was it a hard transition? Do you still miss the game now? Because I mean, I find myself obviously during football season watching games. I see a little pass rush, I see a low shoulder or a spin or bull rush. Then I miss the game for a little bit. But how was that transition for you?
Man, I had knew for a little time before I'd even had made it publicly. I knew right after my last game that was gonna be my last game, bro. It was I was playing for Wichita at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
What Nighthawks? That's who I was playing for.
yeah.
Playing for Nighthawks. We was in the second round playoffs. I knew right after that game that was gonna be my last game if nothing popped after that. To me,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly felt like, what else do they want me to do?
Yeah.
like highlights look just like the people that's coming out of the draft shit. Like I'm doing
Right.
the same
Right.
thing you're doing. Well, like what y'all want me to do? I'm
Right.
I'm doing more than what I did in college. I never made 100 tackles ever in my whole life. I'm making 100 tackles a season, like, and then on top of that, I got to cover. You know what I'm saying? I always did the cover thing. And now it's to the point where I'm making
Yeah,
100 in a season.
your highlights was crazy. Like every just overall, all kind of plays, PBUs, interceptions, tackles for loss. You know, just you know what I'm saying, breaking on shit, like all that. Like, so I understand what you mean.
So it got to the point where like I felt like I was doing the same thing every year. I was producing. I was playing better each season, and nothing was happening for me. So it was to the point where I felt like maybe it ain't even about what I'm doing on this level. Like it's about who you know. Like I don't have the proper representation. Like I figured that. I figured out just playing at a high level is not enough. You gotta have proper representation, man. You gotta know somebody that knows somebody when you that far out the game. Like that's my advice to anybody still pursuing this ball stuff, man.
Absolutely.
Get in contact with people that's gonna put you in the right situations, because you playing good, that ain't always enough.
Yeah, man, it's
enough.
Yeah, bro. It's so funny that you say that, bro, because I found that out. A couple months after I left Des Moines in 2016. Went back to Atlanta. I was working. I made the highlight tape, sent it to my agent. And then I reached out to a couple NFL homies. I had a homie that played for the Browns at the time, linebacker. I was like, get your coach's email for me, and I'll send him my highlight tape. The Browns was 314, so that was perfect for me. And he did me a solid, man. He got me the email. I sent my agent the email. My agent sent them the film, and that's when I found out that it really, like you said, it's about who you know, timing, all those things. Because at the time I was 27, so the linebackers coach, his last name was Johnson. He was like, "Man, LeBron, I think you a hell of a player. Like your highlights is dope. You making a lot of plays, but like I can get a 21-year-old to do that." Because at the time I was 27.
Right,
So he like, I can actually get a 21-year-old that's not the player that you are, but I can make him the player that you are by 23. And then you will be 29 at the time because you're 27 right now. So that's when I finally started realizing, like, okay, damn, like, so now it's like an age thing. It don't matter how many plays you make. You can have 30 sacks. If you 27, 28, and they feel like they can teach this 22-year-old do the same thing you doing, they're gonna go with that. That's a better investment. So that's when I found out, like, okay, yeah. That's when I started realizing, like, okay, it might be over with. But I was cool with that. Like, I would have rather found out like that than, you know what I'm saying, continue to chase. And knowing that you ain't never gonna get an opportunity.
Exactly. And that was very big for me, bro. Cause loving the game like how we love it, and wanting that end result that we always want for, bro. And we keep chasing it. You keep chasing something, you keep going after it, and that door keep getting slammed in your face. You got to relive that pain every time. Got to keep.
I'm telling you.
As hard as it was to stop playing, like it's definitely less pain than to keep doing something redundantly and nothing coming from it. I ain't saying to nobody to give up on something. I ain't saying that at all. You know what I'm saying? If you got it in you, chase it 1,000 times. You go ahead and do that. I just know for me, I ain't have 1,000. I had 500. Like I had 1,000 though. You know what I'm saying? Like it was my time. I had to get right, man. I got to start. You know what I'm saying? Get my bank account right. Got to start thinking about other things. Like
exactly.
Grown up. Like it's about that.
Exactly. You got to right. Like real life hit. You got to be an adult. That's why even in 2016, I played a full IFL season in 2013 for the Green Bay Blizzard, and that's when I knew, like, okay, yeah, like once I went home, I'm like, man, I played a full season, but like you say, like real life hit, like, man, I'm broke, I'm barely getting by, like, so that's why I kind of came at it with a more strategic plan in 2016. But like you said, man, like real life hit, you got real bills, you're a real adult. And for a lot of guys have families already and things like that. So it's a hard space to matriculate through, man. But yeah, I'm glad you was able to paint that honest picture, bro. Last question, bro. what would you say is Tony Grimes' after effect? The 20+ year relationship with football that you had, being as immersed and as aggressive and as passionate about football as you were. What were some lessons that you learned, during that whole journey that you would take and you would ingratiate, into the next generation, to your future kids? Really, just as we try to push the culture forward through our stories and through our lives.
Everybody say football go hand in hand with life. I look at life like a lot of situations, like I look at football. You get in a situation, and you panic and it's over.
Yeah.
And you can't have that. Sometimes stuff start off slow. You got to fight your way to the end of it. You got to keep persevering. As athletes, we go through a lot of stuff mentally, and I think that's that. I think when you think about stuff mentally, that puts you in a state of positive or negative energy, and that definitely reflects on a lot of your results from decision making.
Yeah, so, definitely.
So with football, man, it definitely made my mind mentally for this life thing, because life come with a lot of ups and downs, just like football did. But at the end of the day, it don't rain forever. That sun goes shine again. So
at some point it will. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that mindset just keep me driving narrow in this life stuff after football.
Yeah, definitely, man. I can attest to all that, bro. And your response just gave me one more question before we jump offline. During your professional career, all those years in the IFL, knowing that your tape is A1, but knowing that you, as a DB, you look the same as these top athletes, these top draft picks, things of that nature. Did any mixed emotions come? Did any depression come? Did any of those feels come? Because like you said, we're from really tough neighborhoods, and I can only vouch for myself. But I had my dad in my life, and it was always chest out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nigga, it don't matter what you go through. Like you can't never really show emotion. Like, you got to just fight through it, get through it. Whatever you got to do to get through it, you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I felt like back in 2012, 2013, it was like a really dark space for me. Like I could start kind of telling different behaviors that wasn't really me. I started to think different. I started to react to people different. I was started to willing to kind of like risk my freedom for certain things just because of my situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? So did you go through any of that, or was it just kind of like a seamless, like a seamless pattern?
Till this day, I turn the game off right now if I see if I see something on TV like that make me think like, I ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, sometimes watching football hurts me. Like, I never, like, it took me so long. You know what made me start watching so much football? Because I started gambling. I started playing football. I started betting on games, and like, football is just like watching it just sometimes could just hurt so much, especially when I see so much people that I know and stuff, and I see
exactly.
I respect the game, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of respect for the game, so I respect everything that comes with it. I respect everybody's path, you know what I'm saying? But I always put myself in perspective, the realest perspective I can put myself in, you know what I'm saying? Watching it on TV, like, you can't help but to tell yourself you're supposed to be on there, you know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like that for a lot of us. Like, it's like that for a lot of us, man.
Yeah. I didn't watch ball. I mean, I just got back into watching ball probably 2018, but like 2017 when I was on that transition, like, man, I ain't gonna never play again. Like, I mean, I watched the Super Bowl, and I think I watched a couple of playoff games, like, and I watched a couple of highlights, but like I wasn't tapped in. Like, I'm staying busy on a Sunday. Like, I'm not tapped into the game like that. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm just now like tapping back into just really watching. And like you said, still knowing a bunch of guys that's still actively playing right now, tapping back into their career, seeing if they ball and stuff like that. But it took me some time, like you said, because for me, it's like, man, I could see it. I could see a nigga do a spin move, inside spin move, or do a fake inside to come outside. Just, pass rush is the art, and that'll turn me off. Like, and I'd turn off the game try to go do something else or something like that, because I know that I could do the same thing, like, or if not better, like you said. So I can definitely attest to that.
Yeah, man.
You already know, man. But yeah, bro, that's all I had, man. I appreciate you carving out the time, man, for this organic and authentic conversation. One thing that I've been trying to do, bro, 2020 was the weirdest year. We had family members get sick and pass, and we never walked through a coronavirus pandemic. We've never had to wear masks and all these kinds of things, man. So I've been trying to pride myself on giving guys flowers while they're still here. So all the accolades, all the awards, bro, everything that you accomplished, you literally was one of the best teammates I ever had, one of the best guys that I ever seen play. I wanted to say I'm proud of you, bro, and show you that love, man to man, face to face, while we both still here, bro.
Hey, appreciate you, man. You already know this vice versa, man. I definitely appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the love, man. Definitely,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Definitely glad you had me on this, bro.
Oh yeah. I had to get a real one on here, man. So yeah, I appreciate you for jumping on, and we'll stay in contact, man. Stay blessed out there, man, and be safe.
Already, bro. Dumb love, bro.
Oh yeah, you already know. All right, bro.
Subscribe to LeBron Daniel TV, but you already knew that, where we dig deep and find our hustle, and every single day we are better than yesterday. Subscribe.